everyone, and welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to kind of talk about the winners of the Goodreads Choice Awards. So kind of what we're going to talk about is the fiction, the romance, the romantasy, the fantasy, and the young adult fantasy. Because those are kind of like my main genres that I read. And then I want to read the sci-fi. I haven't really gotten to sci-fi. We can talk about it, but I don't know a whole lot about it. That's one of my 2024 things to get into. So, let's get right into it. So the first category is fiction, and the winner this year was Yellowface by R.F. Kuang. Now this one, I did read this one and I did vote for it. Partly I voted for it because it was the only one in that category that I read. And I really enjoyed that. So Yellowface is basically about this woman who, she's a writer, and she wrote one book, but it never really got published, or I think it, or maybe it did, but it didn't do very well. So she's been trying to figure out what next to write. Well, she had this friend that she went to college with, and she just became the new it girl in publishing. Well, then she died at the beginning of the book, and June found a manuscript, and she kind of took it, and it was in the real beginning stages, so she thought it would be completely fine to take this manuscript and kind of basically finish it. And then she decided to pass it off as her own. And so you go through the story of her dealing with that. And it is, let me tell you, it is a wild ride. So I would recommend picking it up. I haven't read anything that I didn't like by R.F. Kuang. I mean, granted, she's written the Poppy War series, which was the first series, I think was her debut series, I think. And that one, great. And she wrote Babel. And I loved all of those. So I definitely enjoyed reading her first fiction novel. But yeah. So the next one was romance. The category was romance. And no surprise, Emily Henry with her book Happy Place won that. I believe some of the category, or some of the nominees, let's look here. Yeah. So I voted for Love Theoretically because I read that one. I don't think I read... No, I didn't get to read any of the other ones. So I voted for Love Theoretically. I really enjoyed that one. But obviously, I mean, Emily Henry, she is a great novelist, and I enjoy her books. So it really wasn't a surprise for her to win that one. The next category, which was a new category this year, which, to be quite fair, I was very excited about this, was romantasy. So a lot of the times romantasy and fantasy would be combined together, and usually the romantasy won. But this year they separated it, so I was super glad about that. The winner, no surprise, is Fourth Wing by Rebecca Yarros. I mean, that was my read of the year. That was my number one. I absolutely loved it. And I'm going to read Iron Flame, I think, in the first quarter of 2024. At least that's my schedule right now. We'll see if it changes. So some of the other ones that I have read, I read The Ashes and the Star-Cursed King by Carissa Broadbent. That whole series, well, the duology, it was super good. I really enjoyed it. And I think she's gonna have 6 books, but they're all gonna be duologies based on a different court or something. So I'm excited for the rest of those to come out because I really enjoyed that. And to be quite fair, I didn't read any of the other ones. I plan to read The Foxglove King. Hopefully I get to it this month. And The Hurricane Wars this month as well. So cross your fingers for me. And then on my TBR for 2024 is A Soul of Ash and Blood and Throne of the Fallen by Carrie Mascalco. I butchered that. I am so sorry. Also on my TBR is the Jasad Heir and A Fire in the Flesh. Really that whole series, because I haven't started it yet. I have the first book, but I haven't started it yet. And I believe The Coven by Harper L. Woods. So yeah, there's a lot in the romantasy genre that I plan to read. I just haven't gotten to it yet. But yeah, Fourth Wing, that one definitely won. I mean, it would have been really interesting if Sarah J. Maas and I had a book out this year and it went up against Fourth Wing. That would have been, I'm curious on who would have won. So I'm actually kind of interested because Sarah J. Maas has one coming out at the end of January in 2024. So if Rebecca has another one that comes out in 2024, will they collide a little bit in the Choice Awards? So we'll have to wait and see for that one. The next category was fantasy. And I didn't vote for this one, but it was a great book. I really enjoyed reading this one. Was Hellbent by Leigh Bardugo. So this is the second one in the Ninth House series. And I believe she said, I read something that said she's gonna have 5, I think, but she said it takes so long for her to write them. So who knows when we'll get the third one, because this one left on a cliffhanger and I need to know what happens. So yeah, Hellbent won. But second, and this was my choice, was Tress of the Emerald Sea by Brandon Sanderson. I absolutely adored Tress, and I am kind of sad it didn't win. English is hard. But Hellbent was definitely a great read too, so I'm not too disappointed that Tress didn't win. Now, I have a lot in here that is on my TBR, basically the whole thing. So I won't go through it or whatever, but yeah, I plan to read a lot of these, so we'll see if I like them. So we'll go ahead and talk about the science fiction category. I, don't know a whole lot about it, but there are some books or series that I do want to start reading in the science fiction. I feel like science fiction and fantasy kind of go together in a way, so I feel like I would like it. But the winner of the fantasy was In the Lives of Puppets by TJ Klune. I have yet to read anything by TJ Klune. It's just not high on my priority list to read right now. I know that there's a lot, there's a couple books by TJ Klune that everybody loves. So I might one day get to them, but right now it's just, it's not on my priority list. So so far, I don't have anything that was a nominee that I want to read or marked I want to read. There is one that got second here that's Lightbringer by Pierce Brown, and it's in the Red Rising series, which the Red Rising series I do want to read, but this is number 6. So I've got a long way to go to get caught up. So the young adult fantasy category is the next one, and the winner is Divine Rivals. I did not get to that this year. It is on my list to read in 2024, early in 2024. So yeah, I've heard nothing but great things about it, and so it doesn't surprise me that it won. I'm a little disappointed because my pick was Chain of Thorns, and I absolutely love Cassandra Clare. This one got 4th. I was a little disappointed. I wanted it to at least get 2nd, but that's okay. So there are a lot of books here that I want to read as well, like The Stolen Heir, Powerless, What the River Knows, A Study in Drowning, Foxglove, Song of Silver Flame Like Night, Bring Me Your Midnight, and then Silver in the Bone is so far what I have marked of want to read. I'm sure there might be some more in that, like, that's been nominated that I'll probably end up dabbling in or whatever. But yeah. See, that's what's really hard because I don't read all the new releases. I'll usually like pre-order the ones that I want. I just don't get to them in time, partly because I have such a backlog of books that I really want and need to get to. I mean, well, mainly want to get to. I don't need to get to. But yeah, so it's really hard for me to like keep up for the Choice Awards and have read like a lot of the nominees, but I do my best. So the last one we're going to talk about is Best Young Adult Fiction. And this one was Ali Hazelwood won with Check and Mate. And this one I do want to read. I just haven't gotten around to it yet. I don't have it. I'm probably going to buy it in my Book of the Month box at some point. And I don't really have anything marked that's under here for me that I really do want to read, other than the second one in the Anatomy series by Donna Schwartz is The Immortality. So I do want to read Anatomy. I just haven't got to that yet either. So yeah, this was the first YA fiction that Ali Hazelwood has written. She usually writes adult romance. So I'm actually really interested to kind of see the difference in writing from her. So that is part of the reason why I want to pick it up. But yeah, so let's also go ahead and talk about the debut novel. Now I have the winner on my shelf. I just haven't gotten to it. Imagine that. So I forgot that I voted for this one. So I did vote for Inkblood Sister Scribe by Emma Torres. That was the one out of this that I read, and I really did enjoy it. And it got second. But Wayward by Amelia Hart won. And I do have that on my bookshelf. I just, like I said, have not gotten to it yet. There's a lot that I have not gotten to. I've heard a lot about some of these debut novels, but some of them aren't like what I prioritize to read. Not saying that any of these aren't phenomenal reads. There's a YouTuber that I watch. Sorry, my dog is sneezing. There's a YouTuber that I watch that is currently reading Shark Heart, a love story. So I'm kind of intrigued on what she thinks about that one. And the one of the other YouTubers that I watch, she has read Mame, and she speaks very highly of that one. So I don't know, I might get around to some of these. It all just depends, because I have a very strict 2024 schedule that I really need to hit, and a lot of them are really long books. But we'll talk about that in the next video. So thanks for hanging out with me and going over the Goodreads 2023 Choice Awards. I'm super excited I got to talk to you guys about it. But yeah, don't forget, like and subscribe, and be good people. And mountain follow me.